run over. And I think teams are going to get better, of course, as the group rolls on. So let's see what goes down here in G2 versus Navi. It'll be on a classic map between these two teams, even though it's not the same rosters. Mirage will be a nice proving ground to recover the day. Let's see what they can make of it. So, of course, I think in the interview with Hunter, they mentioned something about... he mentioned about how they were kind of losing on mid, not having a lot of information, not playing for it, not bringing ideas, I think is the big thing. Oh, this one's fast.
SDY already out. Oof. He's looking for the player in sight, but Hooksy's already gone ahead and tucked into the marketplace. He's going to die to the Perfecto spam from bench side. So just playing up close. Nico tries to slide out. Didn't expect Bit to be right there on the window. We got a bomb plant and a comfortable 4v3 by the looks of things for Navi. Fight up close goes the way of JKS as Hunter slides slightly beyond that arch, and the bodies start to topple here for Navi. Things suddenly under question as Hunter connects a second in this opening round.
Ooh.
How about a third?
Yeah, nice one from Hunter. He's definitely a little angry, I think, from that previous match, and looking very good now. So we know about JKS on Mirage. So I guess with the spots, they didn't play Mirage yet, so that'll be interesting. We can already talk about that. So JKS, of course, infamously has made it his name playing A anchor on Mirage, playing under Balk, being very good at it. Very notable long-range spray, which I think saves his teams sometimes when he's playing on FaZe, when he was playing with the Australian boys.
Aussies.
Yes, at one point in time. Hooksy picking up over on the B side. And they are still leaving Hunter towards Cat, so there's not much shifts for them. Whereas when we looked at Vitality, for example, I think they suffered a little bit more with how much they had to move around with Spinks. They switched him over to Connector, and then they had they kept Dupree on Cap, and then Apex moved over towards B. And look at the amount of damage done right here for G2. So many players are extremely low.
Near collateral to that Galil spray inside of the Palace, but poor Perfecto just gets the damage in. JKS wants the Galil. Nice guy.
Yeah, a real top G.
Head trick in the server. A name that, you know, some could be unfamiliar with, but if you've kept your eyes on the We Play Academy leagues, well, Head trick does damage. And he slides out into the jungle right now. So he gets past that first fight. Nico, though, given a second chance to finish him, will do exactly that. And we're back into the 3 versus 3. So just finishing off the little bits of HP that were left.
Monasty's in a comfortable spot. And Electronic, you know, he really wants to win that, but his death allows the plan. Now, SDY up to the plate, and Modesty takes him down too.
Bits Tech 9 is going to have to be the difference here. That frag certainly won't help. 3/4 his health. 2 players that would die so easily, but Hunter's going to stick that bomb the entire way. And Hooksy just gives enough cover to make sure that the retake comes through. 3 alive there for G2.
Yeah, yeah. So they're going to have, I guess, some stuff. I guess it's good for them. They get to kind of reassess their Mirage and what they'll do, what they can do differently. And talk about things. But so far, so good here for G2. Though I think they had that same start in their first go of things. That wasn't exactly enough.
But another buy. Navi keep it coming. Tech 9 to Bit.
For the late clamp down on mid. Of course, they can hear on top of them at Cat, but that won't make a difference. The longer the wait, the less attention will be there from the CT side. As Bit begins to scale. He's got the full nade set, and this is what Bit does. He puts all the pressure on Connector while he works underpass, but they miss the window smoke and denied Bit's vision coming out. This is a real big mistake. Some smokes are missed on purpose, of course. And actually, Electronic, even though this isn't a new move at this point, it's a new position for Electronic on the T side. playing inside of top mid, and when he first switched over here, there was clearly some discomfort with the angles where he was getting shot through boxes, not knowing when his body was exposed. So that can also lead into, you know, some missed grenades, even if it is just an honest mistake.
Honesty makes the first one easy, but Electronics there for the trade. Good spacing for Navi. And the space between the connector players and everybody else is filled full of Nico and JKS. So JKS, again, comfort zone, right? Still playing underneath Palace. Plug and play. Nico pops up, drops Perfecto. Things now become a little bit more one-sided on this offense. Trying to come out from ramp. Headtrick slipping through Sandwich. Almost catches Nico off guard, but Nico's tearing him up. And finally, he goes down to the hands of Electronic. 8 seconds to that clock, and he gets swarmed. Just not enough time and not enough players at that point. The 2v1 to G2. So another round that goes their way to start.
Yeah, kind of goes under the radar, but a pretty incredible trade there from Nico to get a second kill. And also the coverage for JKS as he's watching over top of the balcony. That's actually his third here. Yeah, this one's nuts.
Yep.
Headtrick had him for sure.
Especially with that element of surprise.
Yeah.
He was the one guy that got to slide out further from ramp, but it'll be a tough start.
Back to the pistols. Unfortunately, I think a lot of that came down to the window.
Oh, what you doing, bud? Try to dodge those flashbangs. Nico just pounces on his prey. Nico, pretty fiery start so far, Mirage.
Yeah, he's doing good.
I mean, he put up numbers earlier today as well, right?
Yeah.
It's to no one's surprise that Nico's getting kills.
There was this thing with Forrest for a long time where whenever he would get a new teammate, he would always like come back and form like massively because of just the extra boost of motivation. You see that consistently with a lot of players, but it stands out more when you got a legend like that, of course. So Electronics' impact was called into question for sure on Overpass as well, because while Simple was on the team, for whatever reason, as soon as he started calling, he was also one of the best fraggers. If not, he was definitely the best rifler on the team throughout Lisbon, and even at Cologne, he was doing insane work. So that was a bit odd, but it is, of course, the next level of difficulty to have to call without your best player. The sad part for Headtrick was he was by far and away the best player on the team. Oh, I camped that out.
Okay, met by Perfecto's Desert Eagle, but no second there for Perfecto. Monacy skewers bid as well, but that third player does get around. Headtrick with the pistols, just enough. Hooksy, element of surprise, sweeps away the final 2 kills, and G2 gonna keep this strong start rolling.
I need one.
Yeah, nothing to complain about here. It's overall pretty good. Could definitely feel Navi looking a little discombobulated at the moment. So need to keep the head on straight. Talked about this before, but you know, missing grenades and stuff like that. You just don't want to lose rounds like that, especially you put all that prep work in, you talk through the freeze times, you organize an idea, and then it falls through because of a mechanical mistake. Never feels good. But they can survive it. They survived way more.
Finally, like a full-fledged gun round. Not a single Tech 9 in the hands here of Navi. Ooh, trying to bait out the shot. Monacy doesn't bite. Until he chops down on bit.
Yeah, not a place you want to die. I mean, normally, again, you don't want to walk through underpass without top mid control for that exact reason. So Monacy can either get traded or stop from peeking that in the first place. But they were trying their best to shoulder him.
Young gets a little bit further. Monacy nowhere to be found. Actually get G2 excavating on ramp, going for some information, figuring out that it is completely clear. So doubles down on the B double up.
Man, look at this, G2 working. Yeah. They are no longer going to play without information, so they figured this out. They got a kill in mid with the play. Mid's wide open, and they've secured this huge flank coming out from Nico. Feels like it's only a matter of time. Look how many CTs over in B.
Hooksy with the jump spots, goes unchecked. Hunter ices out Electronic. Nico's already at the top of that underground entrance. So, I mean, these guys inside of apartments, they don't know it, but they've been corralled and culled like sheep. They get slaughtered. Navi down. Not even a single kill in a full-fledged gun round. And not only not a single kill, but at no point did that look like they even had an opening, let alone a chance.
Doesn't look like Navi to me. It's a great shot. I mean, they're kind of working really hard here, but there's lots of time on the clock in the first place. So could you have waited out the bottom con smoke that provided Monacy that ephemeral cover? Yeah, probably. They have tried to put pressure on mid, so there's definitely a refrag in store. Yeah, they probably could have. And then we fast forward to a situation where they have no chance. But it starts at the beginning, right? It's kind of the first mistake. It ends up being a snowball. So Blade will get involved with the communication off the timeout. Inspire some confidence. Get the team together. But it's the 5-0 start here for G2.
Sketchy pistols back in the hands of Navi as well. Head trick on his own outside of the ramp. They get bodies into the apartments early on. Little gap there within the smokes. So Monacy with vision towards top mid. Sees nothing, and Sumdai Young, I like this. Quick activation. Flash comes over. He decides to charge in. Insta-dink into Hooksy, but oh, accidentally reloads with 12 bullets in the gun. And doesn't have time to cancel the reload, draw it back out, and finish off his frag.
That's
in a world where he grabs that off, they've got a guy stuck on Arch, 3 more players inside apartments ready to pounce. Sumdai Young, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, he was already out though. You know, where was the attack behind it?
Yeah, it's like they didn't want to, like, maybe, I don't know, take the chance until at least the kill was confirmed, but I feel like they definitely had a chance there to swarm. Now they're not going to get a better chance than that one. No more utility, really. Single smoke for bit, and then they just walk into the meat grinder that is Hunter and Hooksy. Easy does it. Finishes off, gets that bomb dropped, and it's just total full control. So at least this time we saw a Navi with an opening, but an opening that was very quickly closed once there was a, we'll call it a fumble.
Yeah, there's that mistake, and then maybe the spacing isn't so great. I mean, but look at the space, right? I mean, he has at least Hooksy tied up in this engagement, and he really wants this kill. And also Hunter is in the site somewhere, but it's around with Tech 9. So this is where you should be in a swarm mentality more than ever. I mean, if you have a lot more guns behind it, maybe something slows you down, it makes sense. But Tech 9s, you should be running through those Molotovs, committing, trying to stay as close together, getting any trades that you can. Another missed window smoke, I think.
Bit never even comes around the corner. Great grenade off of Catwalk there from Hunter, but Head Trick will get an op kill versus Monacy.
Wow, Academy League going head to head.
Here we have it.
That's cool to see. Obviously, we've casted so much the Academy League. Head Trick is somebody that we know has been very good, and in this last season actually started opping for the Academy roster as well. So this isn't a brand new role for him.
JKS gets smoked out, and he's pinched right now. Sumdai Young on one end. Electronic on the other, and JKS not able to jump away from that smoke. So Hooksy gonna go ahead for the save. We've got Navi on the scoreboard. Helps when Head Trick gets a couple op picks. Cancels out Monacy inside of Connector, creates that opening to swarm into JKS, and sure enough, Navi capitalized.
Yeah, Monacy kind of gave him that. He ego peeked him, the re-peek, and Head Trick just waited patiently. Very sound round out of Head Trick. Super solid stuff. And I mean, he was putting like a 1.18 rating or something like that over on Overpass, a far cry from his second best player on his team. So no questions from this young man. Hooksy's been good so far. B-side's looking under control here for G2. I don't think they'll be too pressed about losing 1 round.
You know, we saw a lot of double op out of Astralis yesterday on CT side Mirage, and it's not something new, but right to it is G2 here as well, right? So, snipers in abundance here at the Blast Fall groups.
Yeah, it's map dependent, of course, but Mirage has lots of space for your operas if you want to have one holding down the B side alone, and then one floating. They can go anywhere. Palace pick, inside a window, with a molly in the connector. It all works.
Give it up. Honestly, the soul holder, Hunter, off of Cat. Almost has a chance there for Electronic, but Electronic shuts that one down. His hopes destroyed.
So what can happen here? It depends. It looks like Nico's falling back. Maybe he either boosts Monacy in the window or just sits in jungle and waits. They should try to look for some material, though, I feel like, before they lose grip on the rounds. JKS purveying the A ramp. And we can already see Navi's idea starting to come to fruition. But if they want to get this late attack on mid, I don't think they've scared the CTs exactly.
They're starting to peel over towards that B site misstack. Not the right read.
Yeah, this
probably comes off JKS getting into ramp for free, but
I think there was a moment here where they could have had a tactic, but they decided to play blind, which is something that they brought up in the interview again earlier. And now they've just gamble rotated. Navi picked the correct site. They're going to know at this point JKS is in the A ramp if they get across to Ticket, but he still has a nice place to sit and wait if his teammates can join him.
See if they do. Whether they just call this one quits and let Navi slide by with a second. Bullet goes right past JKS. Smoke goes right through the fire. T's go ahead and cover that one out. But G2 aren't falling away from this. Electronic's taking a long con all the way through underpass, back around through apartments. Hooksy finally bailing on this B site as he's got two teammates up from Ticket.
I don't think this is it doesn't seem like a worthwhile retake. They have one smoke here, but they don't have window control. We're deep into it. Bit wins his duel.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to get a little desperate. Shadow spotted by SDY, and JKS can't quite clear the Palace player. So while JKS is going to be able to exit, Monacy just locked in. That ends up costing them 3 of the 4 players who could have potentially saved, and what felt like an inevitable second for Navi, sure enough, on the scoreboard.
That was, to me, trying to have your cake and eat it too. Like, they went for the blind gamble, and I think when they made that decision, if it ends B, they're really well fortified for it. If it ends A, they're in a really tough position to try to retake, in particular because of the fact they gave up window. When Bit gets into that position right by the murder hole, that's just hard to get back. It takes a lot of resources, a little luck, and sometimes a distraction to be able to get that kill, and you most of the time won't do it. But they decided to half attempt it. I think it went as everyone anticipated, and now they just have less guns. So maybe the wrong economic decision, but they still have a lead.
Slipping ever so slightly, not only with a lead, but also with another buy. So they're not in that dungeon economically just yet. Still definitely would have been a much more comfortable spot to walk away with those 4 guns early. See if they can recover here and now. It's not too late, and lots of presence through middle. Solo duel for JKS against Sumda Young. He picks that one up, and we've got G2 right back to winning ways. 5 versus 3 very comfortably off of a strategy they decide to employ towards middle, and then a reaction over on that A site from SDY. His 9th death, not the hottest of starts from SDY today.
Yeah, they fought fire with this one, so.
See, dodges the first shots, gets tagged up by the second burst. Bit on the hunt, decides to slide back. Look at the attention that draws over from G2. Which had like 4 players starting to lean towards B. Could have been a chance for these Palace players to pounce, but they opt not to. Things go silent for a second. He sees it yet again. This time down to a measly 10 health. Monacy tagged up as well. We start to see the blue guys get drawn back over. Nico keeping it locked into Ticket, pops up, catches Perfecto off, and then Monacy kills Bit inside of the apartments. So poor head trick, all that's left over, 1v5. It's a 7 for G2.
They've got kind of a great synergy here between JKS and Nico, where Nico is so good from the Ticket position. Very far away angles with maybe the best aimer. I think, you know, leave him there every single time. And then JKS under Balk, his complete comfort zone. both positions are really secure in and of themselves. I think we saw Nico pop up to make sure no one could make that lurk play happen, which is great. Outside of that, one situation, you know, you've got two players who don't have to watch each other the entire time, which is super strong. So, liking what they have going on over on the A site.
Almost timed perfectly.
That's a great nade. Wow. Oof.
Hefty damage versus head trick. He's not having a good time trying to peek out from Palace. Nico scouring everything he can.
So is head trick posted now, or is he not peeking yet?
Nope.
No, not yet.
Keeping it tucked in, bit. Ooh, nice. Quick snap there from Nico. We expect nothing less. But he walks right into the scope of head trick, who is eventually posted, and it pays off for him. SDY versus Monacy here in mid. Oh, nice jump up from Monacy. Perfectly placed, but JKS gets owned by Electronic. Up close and personal, that AK connects. He burns down to a crisp. And then the leg shot versus Perfecto keeps him alive on 3 health, but 3 health means 2 kills. And Hunter looking for the clutch as head trick gets ever closer. And Hunter comes at this weird angle.
That's so good.
So smooth on the jump back over towards default to give G2 another.
That was really nice. That was like the reverse twist. He could feel the peak coming out, you know, the anxiousness from head trick to try to end that round early. He knows he's been spotted already. He's taken a little bit of damage. Dealt with beautifully there by Hunter. Man, that bullet went through every bone in his body, right?
Nice second from Perfecto.
Yeah.
So cheeky.
It looks silly, but man, from head trick's perspective, that's hard to deal with. The perfect crouch jump there. So, okay. Another timeout. Here for Navi as they come to talk about things. That one looked a little bit more classic. I think letting Bit be the annoying part of the rounds from the underpass, you know, around the minute mark, letting everybody default and holding down both A ramp and Palace, keeping options open. I think we've seen some less ambitious defaults from Navi, favoring a little bit more simple plays, but those haven't been the answer so far. 3 players from G2 over 100 ADR.
Love to see it. That's that core 3, right? Doing what they're meant to. Fast one from Navi. Gonna pick up the tempo, hit this B site, try to bully Hooksy. Keeps himself pressed into the corner, goes unchecked. Mac 10 hops into the bomb site, and Sumdai Young clears corner on Van. Hunter loses his teammate, and as he's set ablaze, he decides to fall back. He's got support on Cat, and JKS trying to get out from Market. But in terms of quick electric plays, Navi straight into that bomb site. Exactly what they would have hoped for out of the spawn. Monacy trying to find his chance, his angle, his first victim.
Yeah, this one might already be too far gone. I mean, they have Cat control, but they have no big flank. So many players still up in the B halls. No one felt like they had to jump out to help for trades at all.
Uncomfortable 4 versus 5, but we've seen them go for wonkier retakes. And this one here kicks it off. Bit answers up close with that Mac 10. Time starts to become an issue, but the kills sure aren't. Here comes Perfecto up from apartments, but that bomb is just way too far gone. And while Sumdai Young's gonna die as he commits, so will Nico. Monacy the only survivor as Navi's rush turns into their 3rd round win.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's the second time I guess Hooksy falls back to the van. And he's been good about just like trying to play it. He's playing it pretty standard almost every time, just dropping his van pillar smoke, falling behind it, trying to stay alive as long as possible. Sometimes I think he could probably be crossfiring with Hunter in a little bit more of like, not an audacious way, but just active. And I think that's cost him on this one, but at the same time, it's going to happen sometimes. So far, Hooksy's been pretty solid, so the timeout's coming out early.
Every single player on Navi checking their notes as this timeout comes out as well.
There are a lot of them.
It's crazy to think that 30% of the players in the server last year were in the Academy League. Go back 2 years, there's just no academy players really active. It's really does feel like kind of like a, you know,
that's awesome.
A new system, a new route to professional play.
But you should stay in school, kids. It really works.
Yeah. Look at that. Man, remember when Counter-Strike players didn't have to read to be professionals?
Yeah. They asked Blade to write a 1,000-word essay in school, and he wrote it in 9-point font just to get extra words in to trick his professor because he had more to say.
See with a player down and underground. Window's not smoked, so Nico could come and help. But Electronic crosses back, will not be caught. Smoke goes down a second later. Bit starts to draw out a little bit of attention here. Nico rounding back around towards connector. This is the worst buy we've seen from G2 CT side yet. Could be a real moment for Navi to crack through, and sure enough, Perfecto snaps JKS the moment he peeks into the palace. Kovac brothers inside of this A site. They wait. Bit very much pinned into this corner, but he wins the duel versus Nico. And then m0NESY extends around Catwalk. And with nobody else inside mid from Navi, that's a chance for Hunter to come swinging out underneath Palace. He grabs one. Man advantage still here for Navi, and Electronic just ran through that B bomb site, so there they go. Navi pull off A.
Yeah, they do. And they're actually not even going to take it there because they've got Electronic snuck up into the marketplace. Huxley's like, damn, the one time I'm not in B. That was a clean one. It was fast. It's, of course, they had a little leverage. Oh, wait. I mean, bomb's coming down super late.
There was a chance there.
Yeah.
There was nobody holding that. If Huxley had run 2 seconds, 3 seconds sooner.
He's still here in time, though, and he knows that someone was on default. There's still 3 up, but he might know Electronic pushed. Ooh, opportunity missed.
Yeah, head trick, nice. Keeps the peak minimal. m0NESY's going to come join him from Cat. It's Electronic holding the cross. Sure enough, Huxley walks right into it. And with that, it's m0NESY's invitation to walk away. Save that op. Oh my God, get out of there, brother.
Yeah.
Run for the hills.
Yeah, economically, they should be saving a little bit more. I think after he missed that first opportunity, it was already like a, low percentage play, but he was in a good spot early, so worth a try.
Yeah.
But fully committed, so
m0NESY gets away.
Money's no good here for G2. Chance for a 5th now for Navi.
Yep. Real opening on this T half.
This was the moment where they knew they had it. Only Bit could get this kill. Seriously. He's like so dead.
Yeah. Versus Nico of all people.
Yeah.
Manages to walk away with it.
Most of this half has been all about mid, but I think Navi felt like, all right, we've done that enough. Let's try to simplify a little bit. Now they're looking for pistols.
That one op in m0NESY's hands. He's got so many players all around ready to swarm. But they're getting ripped apart nice and easily. Ooh, little late response there from Electronic. m0NESY capitalizes, turns his attention right back to that A site, nails SDY to the wall. A third from m0NESY. Do not make this mistake, as others have.
Yo.
A shot as Perfecto jumps back. Bit looks for his opening over here, but now we've got Hunter with hands on an AK. And so m0NESY's 3 kills on this op, pushing him to 16 frags, is a very real chance for G2 to win a round they have no business finishing off. Bit is stuck in this corner. But the CTs have lost track of him. JKS, a victim to the MAC-10.
Yeah, Electric is an important point to hold, but it's tough when you've got to also try to escort your teammate out. And oh, m0NESY was done with that, but he doesn't get the kill.
Felt as though he had it. Can Hunter finish off what m0NESY got started? Bit jumping back into the site. Perfecto nearly caught coming out from apartments, and it's Bit's hit into the B site to recover.
He's getting those impossible kills. Yeah, that's the Bit we know. Some beautiful work from him. And honestly, in a situation where it looked like Navi were playing a little scared, right? The way that they come out of Palace after seeing these pistols, as soon as m0NESY gets his first op shot, there's like 3 players in Palace. They do not scale properly. They're worried about getting out. They think they're going to get opt, and so the prophecy comes true. But
there,
yeah, Navi pick up and save it.
A 5th round win, as it should have been. JKS has Nico to help out. And then through smoke, catching Electronic. So double man advantage right away, but Perfecto blasts him through the floorboards. Bit's gonna use that chance to fake plant once, hopes the CT peek comes, but there's nobody there. We've got 3 players over here towards jungle and stairs. And the plant goes down behind triple. Bit can't get out of there. Uncomfortable post plant. Perfecto gives up his position in Palace. Wants to run over towards ramp, but now that that smoke goes down, Headtrick's not in any better of a position. He'll be given 2 flashbangs.
Oh, he's just gonna lamp him.
Chucks him over for Perfecto, who runs through with 2 kills quickly. It's a 10-second defuse for HooXi, already down to 5. Headtrick comes wide, and m0NESY ends him. So G2 will get away with that one. But for a second, Perfecto makes it sketchy.
Yeah, it's crazy how you can just change uniforms like that. Like you're in the post plant, but suddenly you're just execing A from the T side, lamp flashing over. It's a classic one. And they give it their best shot. It was a real valiant effort. This was a little sketchy from Bit. He tries to escape from his position on the side of triple. I think maybe he's worried about the CT retake coming in and him sitting in a spot like that, but maybe that extra time could have been their saving grace. So a mixed buy to end the first half. It has been so close economically speaking. Navi looking for some dignity here at the 6th.
Gonna go quickly into this B site again. Last time it did work out. This time, HooXi delivers 2 quick kills as they try to get beyond that van. So things to an immediate halt. HooXi goes ahead, body bags a 3rd, and then further damage onto Headtrick. Hunter getting closer and closer, can't manage to put down SDY, but now there's so much support here that it should be G2 to just smoothly finish it off. And how about a HooXi ace to end the first 15?
You don't do like the role play?
No.
I'm the back of the coach with the old boys.
Jared, what were you first game you remember playing?
My old man used to play it with me. Destruction Derby on like PlayStation 2. That was the one where you just smashed the cars up. So that's the one that jumps out to me. And I actually bought a PlayStation 2 in, I think it was like lockdown or something, just to play it again.
Back.
Yeah, just to play it again. My dad, we played it together. It's not the same, but it was still good fun. So that's probably the first game that I can fully remember.
And you got to relive it as well.
Yeah.
Dave, what about you?
I think mine was, I got a birthday present. It was a yellow Game Boy, and it was a game called Donkey Kong. I loved it. It was like the best present in the world.
What are you playing like these days?
Call of Duty, FIFA, they're my main 2 games. Bit of Fortnite, but it got too hard when, you know, everyone was building on top of my head. And I was just like looking around like. Bit of GTA every now and again.
Okay.
Mainly for the few heists, and the races on there are fun.
You don't do like the role play?
No. So when you got the races on there and you got a few of your mates on, you got your cars just crashing into each other and just, I've got one mate that's proper tryhard at it, and we all just say, right, let's just get him. And we just get him and he loses his head every time. It's unreal. But yeah, FIFA and Call of Duty are the other main 2.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've not really played seriously like that for a while, but I would say it's I had that PUBG for a little bit, a couple of years.
Good.
Yeah, it was good on the phone, and had the teammates. So it was like 4 of us going at it, so that was enjoyable.
Do you play anything like as the team with the other players?
Yeah, there's a few that have got I've got one as well, the travel suitcases.
Oh yeah.
So you can kind of, so it's got the screen in, you just literally take your PlayStation and
Nice.
controller. I know a couple of the French boys play Call of Duty together. I'm just on, take my headset, you know, play with my mates back home, so I don't know who else plays. But there's only a few of us really that kind of take them, isn't there?
I'm a little bit old school, actually talk to people.
Yeah, you're like, I want to have a real interaction.
On the back of the coach with the old boys.
But you were saying you play Warzone most nights, right? Yeah. So how good is your skills in Warzone? Well, not, but what do you class as good and what's not good? KD or? Yeah, KD. It's not amazing. It's over 1, which is, you know, a good start. Positive. It's about 1.2, I think it was last time I checked. So I thought for Warzone, that's all right. Yeah, we'll take that.
Smoke window.
You hold me under, Nico? Yeah, but...
I can molly under actually from it.
Do it.
I go B.
Was already out dead. I'm leaving. Nothing mid.
Yeah, normal under spy KA.
Are you with I will B? smoke.
Oh,
I
perhaps.
will smoke B. I smoke B from backside and I rotate.
He's opening up still. Molly ramp? Need help.
I'm running ticket. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm running ticket.
Two apps. I can flash CT for you.
Flash it, yeah, CT, in front of CT.
Flash CT now. Dodge. Ups.
Dead.
Stairs and up.
One stairs. Stairs.
Four perhaps.
Nice spray.
Smooth little Hunter 1v2 to add a round to the tally. G2 CT side looking good, especially at the end. Quick little hooksy ace to survive that rapid B hit. You know, the previous time they just overwhelmed him, kind of looked targeted because A site shut down right now between JKS and Nico. But he delivered 10 rounds for G2 as they take to the offense.
Yeah, and I mean, they went B a lot, and I think most of the time he came out ahead, so that was a really good sign. Good one for the confidence. And now he's the entry.
That he is. Locks himself into the bench real quick. We leave 2 players inside of the apartments. Nice little 5v5 retake to kick off the second half. Electronic with the boost from Cats. Catching monacy, but Hunter trades it right away. Hooksy, oh, labored fight. And SDY inside of the market also finding a headshot. So suddenly from 5v5 to 4v1, JKS, the only guy who can do anything about this post plant. Feeling the pressure here from all directions. He'll be given the grace of a 10-second defuse, but it won't make a difference. Navi, hold off.
Yeah, they do, and that makes this game worth watching now. We'll potentially get a close one. I think there will be a lot of pressure here on G2.
I think we should actually.
So far, shaping up to be a banger. It was like a slightly messy first half, but lots of great rounds, I think, from both sides. Clearly, I think, especially because G2 had the one map rep, they got to attack a lot of their issues, and you could definitely see that they were prioritizing, like making sure to get information in that first half, and they were making that game plan to come to fruition. So what did G2 have to offer here in the second half on the attack?
Nico was looking for that headshot, but nobody presents themselves.
The hook's already in connector.
Trying to squeeze through. Ooh, Monacy's 1 AK comes out. Hunter follows up with even more damage. Poor head trick. He at least kills Hooksy, so that deals with the player up close. Creates a little bit of space for the rotate.
Oof, they're planning inside triple. He can actually leave this position if they want to. They have one in Palace. They can set up quite... Oh, a late volley as well, and a kill. Ooh.
Nicely done from Hunter. And he's not done yet by the looks of it. Wants to go ahead and turn this one into a jungle kill as well, but there's nobody here. Bit joins head trick deep inside a ticket.
They're locked out. Hunter's got the good spot. He can even stop him from leaving. Let's see if he gets the kill. No, Bit will take him out. That's info that they were getting out of this fight. So now everybody can run and hide, but it'll be a round one for G2 with just 2 rifles to work with.
Modesty gets the first kill inside Palace. Then there was a nice little bit of spacing there as, you know, we see the quick turnaround from Electronic, expecting maybe Nico to come out from ramp instead, but that second player in Palace just pops it all open.
I'm not really a big fan of how there's one player sitting on default and they don't have connector control, no A-ramp presence, and no Palace presence. It's not a bad spot to be in, but once he gets spotted, Hooksy's information, it gets called, and they've got nothing to lose. They just swing on him, so I think they could have definitely played that anti-eco a little bit better from a setup perspective, and now they're relegated to 2 guns themselves.
Bit. Ooh, 2 kills. Holds on. Monacy slides through with it. Navi working with lesser weapons and trying to do the same that was done to them, but Nico recovers it from Palace on the fallback there for head trick. His gun will at least get grabbed by Electronic. Creepy crawl from Monacy. Top connector goes the way of G2. And now Sumdai Young pressured position, but that's clean. Just takes the head right off Hooksy, gets bomb control of all things. And also on top of that, a second to breathe. A second to try to piece this together. Time for Perfecto to perhaps wrap around top mid. But he doesn't change guns. MP9 still good for further damage. Frag. Oh, they throw him back and forth. And Nico comes out on top, but there's the trade frag at the very least. So a 21-7 Monacy will be able to grab that bomb and try to close this clutch.
Yes, but this is the CIS Perfecto, or the CIS Zipix, I should say. And Monacy knows that. So the bomb goes down default.
Or not.
Yeah, a fake plant. And he's trying to figure out what Perfecto's next move is. So Perfecto's made it an enormous rotation, but he calls it the fake plant. He can now get closer. Monacy is just trying to figure this out. It's not going to be possible for him to know for sure, of course, if Perfecto left or if he's coming in slowly. But it looks like he's waited enough time that Perfecto's second-guessing this. I can't believe that. After hearing the bomb get fake planted, Perfecto tried to immediately run over to the other site. Now he's got a way harder clutch to win. Oh, that's tough.
Damn.
But Monacy's not going up into Palace. He's going to play for the fight.
Putting himself into a position to potentially die. Perfecto making a ton of sound, though, so... Oh!
What?
He doesn't win the duel.
What? Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's true.
Yep.
Okay, now we have to remember that the last info that Monacy had was Perfecto's A ramp. So as far away as he looked on from our perspective, he got there way early, and Monacy had no idea where he was coming from. Heard those footsteps a little late and could have tucked. Still would have probably had to take in the duel or do something really gimmicky and scared and play around triple and then fight afterwards. So I think from his perspective, you hear something running like this, then you think, okay, I'm going to kill him because he thinks I'm not going to be playing in CT. He's dead to rights, but beautiful aim from Perfecto to make the most of that FAMAS. And maybe a very key clutch.
Yep. Look at the reward it gives them. Assuming that this very quick push into the A site doesn't just swarm Headtrick and SDY, who waits for Monacy to back up, gets himself 2 kills with the FAMAS. Nico looking for something to shoot over top of Tetris. Electronic comes wide from jungle to kill Hunter, and now things have definitely gone south. It's gonna take a Nico recovery and a Hooksy helping hand, but he decides to bail back with that bomb. 3 versus 2 here for Navi, and they're just going to give a bit of space over towards this A site.
Ooh, this could be cool. The 2 IGLs of G2 Esports working together in the mid-round.
That's the move. Nico just stagnates and ramp for a second. It's given time for Electronic to get past default. He could just tuck into under Palace and hold. But he's not watching. He's looking straight up the stairs. Bit gets back to Wold from jungle cross. That's going to be necessary. There was that little timing that could have gone the way of G2. Instead, Electronic on high alert. Nico right into the crossfire, and Bit picks up both those kills to keep Navi's little bit of momentum rolling.
Yeah. Playing under Balk there by itself is one thing, but that crossfire is pretty much too hard to defeat. So a good effort. I think it makes a lot of sense to go there. If they made a mistake, then surely he could have died, but wasn't the case. So well done here from Bit. Feels like, I mean, I think he's lost more duels than he's won, but the kills he's got have been pretty critical, so I'll give him that. a penniless G2 Esports here.
Very quickly fed to Headtrick and Electronic. Nico's got an answer. Quick pop out from underground. That's the end of Monacy. Now it's just Hunter to follow suit. So keeping 4 alive. Very comfortable position here for Navi, and we've got a game on our hands.
We do. We definitely do. It'll be cool to see Headtrick opping here on Mirage on CT side. See where he works around. Of course, the thing about replacing Simple, besides the enormous, size 14 shoes, is just the fact that he rotates a ton more than basically anyone else. And Navi are very used to rotating around him, giving him the space he needs and supporting him and all this constant ideas coming in and flowing. And Headtrick is what we know from the Academy League. He's kind of a much more patient operator. He's actually more device-like, I think, than Simple, if we're going to compare him to 2 legends.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Tough comparisons, dude.
But he has that kind of stability in his personality, I think. So I think he actually might ask for less in that sense with where he plays. And of course, he's actually a new opper, so he can rifle just as well. This round, of course, he's dead. So he can watch.
Quick reality check. Hunter gets past that apartment smoke too. So him versus Perfecto. Yeah, big pickup. Hunter gonna capitalize on all this open space. Smooth 5 versus 3. While they're still looking for something to happen inside of middle, there's just nothing there.
Yeah, that is well done. Especially with that B anchor kill. It's well done from Hunter, and could pretend to go for this. A lot of damage, but no kill fear from JKS. Actually, not the best game so far.
Despite what felt like a really good start, or at least like, filling his role over towards that A site. There's so many iterations of teams that JKS has kind of been that super forward A player, and then it always seemed like sometimes he just wouldn't have enough help, right? But with Nico being that second guy behind him, I really like the A site CT side from G2.
Yeah,
numerically, maybe less kills for JKS, but it just looked like it set up Nico really nicely. Looked like Nico could rely on JKS to feel comfortable.
Yeah, I think the stats don't tell a story. I think we saw definitely some good rounds in the first half. Whether it was because JKS was under Balk or because he got kills, but either way, positionally, of course, he's always sound. We know that about JKS.
Yep. Now it's just time for him to find his groove on this offense.
Also, no one played under Balk more than Jax, so I think this is like a perfect style-wise.
That's fair. Yeah. Very fair. I watched Jax play under Balk 15 rounds in a row once.
Yeah.
Probably more than once. Oh, smooth. Hunter already through connector. Wow. Electronic should be on high alert, but it's not like there's the, most impressive A defense in position right now, especially with SDY going down. Nice response from Electronic. He's got to quickly snap that into Hunter, or else this round's essentially already done. Now, if the cross goes south for G2, Navi could still sink their teeth into this one. It's at least bought time for Bit to slide beyond Ticket. Hooksy confirms it. And with the flashes, they stay honed in on him.
They have no
tagged down. It'll be alive until he goes for a fight. Or they connect with a little bit more spam.
Those smokes are going to come up. I think they should be planning to try to plant for connector. They just want the CT kill so badly. Oh, man. This is your worst nightmare, trying to scale from Tetris, but Bit gives them a kill.
Finally, they find it, but by now, Headtrick's ready to go for the op trades.
They're just out of nades, man.
Out of nades and out of the bomb site for the most part. Hooksy looking like he wants to go for the around the world back through middle. 30 seconds on this clock. Electronic and Perfecto both starting to bite down on the possibility of the B play. But at least Perfecto stays in underground, so him versus Hooksy could come back into the equation. Headtrick, what's he going to be able to deliver? 15 seconds, and he finds Monacy, the bomb carrier, at a critical point because somebody has to go and grab that. JKS sprints over, Electronic gets the kill from top connector, and sure enough, as it always seemed, this one may just fizzle out. The peek from Headtrick drops Nico, JKS follows suit, and sure enough, Navi hang on.
Let him know, Headtrick. Let's go. Another standout from the Academy League showing up here today at Blast. Well done. That's a big one. Didn't like that very much, though. I mean, they had their 2 smokes down. I feel like mollies obviously make a world of difference here, but I think that they didn't need to get obsessed with the idea that they needed this molly to kill Bit, because Bit can't stop the opposite triple plant on both sides, the middle or the back, and their smokes are going to expire. They had nothing left. I feel like they had to commit to trying to get the kill on stairs if that's the other thing they were worried about, but they just weren't willing to do it. And so they looked quite timid. G2 will call another tack to talk about things. That was definitely an opportunity lost.
You want me to come from under or top mid? I don't have a good.
Jeszcze z podwalem.
You give me a flash, maybe.
Nothing but one and done so far for G2. All in on this one. This be a great chance for Headtrick and Navi to run away with some rounds. But immediately, Monacy waiting for that cat peek. Nobody in position just yet. Dangerous game, Some Die Young. Wait for the flash, it's perfect. The damage is almost enough. 95 off Nico's AK.
That was a bit too quiet for their liking.
Yeah, you could sense it. Now while G2 are entirely through middle.
Yeah, look at this slice through the A site, right? They've got someone on default, A ramp control, and CT. So they're probably in the past, and this just allows Headtrick to frag, right? He has no worry about the palace peek. He can peek from ticket easily. And it's all the G2 members in connector trying to work towards A, but I think they'll have to look for other plans. Oh, this is interesting. I mean, they score window, plus they're working up onto cat.
But Bits calmed the hall, so Headtrick's just solely focused on the murder hole now. Hooksy tries to come through, gets caught off. Bomb down, confirmed by Bit. Nice shot from Monacy, point blank. Headtrick tries to go through murder hole and point blank. I mean, the AK comes out on top, but you've got 10 seconds.
Uh-oh.
At this point, it's a sprint towards the A site, or you concede, and therefore they're going to let this one slip past. Nice little, you know, quick, in terms of a 2v5, cool to get back something, but time really makes the difference here for Navi's 11th.
Yes, it really does. So obviously, this first flash tactic to get the kill, most of the time, a team is going to have one person, either A ramp or palace, so it's such a huge find to get that early into the round. And then again, you look at the slice they had through the A site, they're ready for connector. That's like the #1 thing they deal with. So once they get A ramp control, Headtrick goes up on top of ticket, free frag for him. He does very well. The late rotation into window is one thing, but it's already at the point of the round where it's like, what are you even doing here? You know, you've got to be working on a site, so it's kind of fine for him to die. And the game gets one round closer.
Bit jumping around on catwalk. Hunter hears the audibles. 4 players stack inside the apartments. B's kind of, you know, they haven't given it too much love this half G2, so we saw them get in easily with the pistol. 5v5 in the post. Perfecto back on bench with nades in hand. Bit gets wind of it. Dodges the flash, turns attention back in. JKS, clean kill, but he's not able to get that second one. Monacy will off through the tippity top of that smoke. Electronic plays close, slides into Hunter, catching him off guard, and Nico tries to respond. Monacy, good angle into market. And Some Die Young, 1v2. Tough players to take down in this clutch attempt, and he's not even going to get the damn chance.
Wow.
Blindsided and smoked by Nico. They just slide through that B site pretty easy.
Yeah, such a nice attack. Flashes were great. The spacing is here. They're out and across the site, and Monacy hits a very hard shot here. He can, oh, yeah, okay. Perfecto's actually falling off of the bench. That's nasty. That's 600K.
Yeah, okay. Critical point to pull that one off as well. That's what you're hoping for. Modesty 24 kills, Nico 22. Stars align in that two-player hold. SDY finds JKS as they try to come out from ramp. Hunter very quickly up connector though, so that's a trade you take. And everybody else essentially from Navi are just cut off except Electronic. And if he's not able to get that kill, then things kind of seem too far gone, but he'll grab one before his teammates can even get vision. Smokes fade and they get replaced. Ooh, Nico on the garbage. Jumps up and Electronic gets him. Modesty not able to capitalize there, so Electronic man of the round so far here for Navi. Pushes Hunter into a tough-looking 1v4. Time is at least awkwardly ticking quickly. Navi, yeah, they'll find him nice and easy. Good move there from Electronic.
Okay.
Just using Hunter's jump up against him.
I could make a whole video about that round from Electronic. That was so beautiful. He smoked himself out of CT to stop anybody from supporting the missiles peak, and he gets this first kill. That's his own smoke he just threw. And then the flash comes out because they're trying to help him scale, and he ends up getting 4 kills. Got to cut the cord, man. Everyone's been cutting the cord.
Didn't you just go back?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm also not pro.
All right. Yeah, fair. Fair. Damn. That one's gonna sting. The reward of just shredding that B site in the round previous is everybody's got money, and now we've got G2 back with economic problems. Tense game.
It is. It's really good.
Yep.
I feel like if you didn't have a round score at the top, I wouldn't even be able to tell you who was winning.
Okay, Justin.
So back and forth.
Can you just run into the corner and BFs?
Let's see what happens. They both know that it's still up for grabs. And even though G2 are saving here, they're saving with a lead. Saw a vicious B attack a couple of rounds back. Got a lot more to work with, though. So, Nico's one smoke. In Palace. We have no nades on this side of the map. We'll see what the plan is.
Last piece of utility on Nico. Damn, not even a flash for the pop. But
I don't know if they just threw late window, maybe.
Try to get this mid kit. Oh!
All right.
Yeah. Utility's overrated.
Yes. All it does is block your opponents from seeing you, so okay.
That's 2. Modesty, that's 2. Hunter's already gotten through Murder Hole as well, so now they could suddenly go ahead and pinch this back into the B play. Oh, but Perfecto just turns attention in the nick of time. And you could see them kind of crunching the numbers and wanting to lean back towards B, but at the very least, they still have footing towards this A site. It's just bit back on ticket. Nico hands on an AK. Op shot confirms he's nearby. Monacy grabs an op in the meantime. So you've put Nico on an AK, which just went down, thankfully for Navi. Very quickly dispatch of that.
JKS coming in on a slow flank. I mean, do they know about him? He's gonna. I think Monacy will see a gun here in a second. Oh, maybe not. Oh,
doesn't matter. Now he turns attention back towards Khan. Ticket player as well, an ominous threat. JKS grabs the A1S. They do not know about that long flank, but Perfecto turns it upside down, and Bit comes in with the op duel at the exact same time to give Navi 13.
I think either kill wins the round. JKS, he picked up a gun with not enough bullets. Instantly got turned. I think he ran out of bullets.
Oh, that's an awful feeling.
Yikes.
I mean, that's a great feeling right there. Trading out your teammate as well with the second Deagle kill. Huge moment for Monacy.
That was big as well. Can we recuse JKS a little bit here? Did he run out of ammo? That seemed like it used every single one, but I'm not exactly sure.
I feel like we owe him a double check.
Yes.
We gotta double check.
We are kind of doubling down though. I mean, maybe it's only worse if we find out there were bullets. But I think he did run out.
Honestly, in position, missed shot versus head trick.
Too fast for his own good.
Happens.
Tie game, folks. Full strength buys coming in around 27. And already mid-control 1 here for the T side. So what's going to... Ooh, nice native response. Unconfirmed damage. Oh, still impactful. And Electronic with another sharp one, man. He's got a cannon today. I say today, actually, Overpass wasn't that great. He's back. He's back to Lisbon, Electronic, in this map. He just had a warm-up map earlier.
JKS started that spray with 8 bullets in the magazine. 8 shots is what he picked up. It's technically enough. But less than half, unlucky. Bit ready for the window jump up. Hooksy doesn't drop down just yet. Playing a dangerous game with the clock here in round 27.
They have such a nice position, and they know they have to take it to the next level in just a few seconds. 3 players here on A, occupying all the best spots. And Nico gonna flash for the connector peek into jungle. They're gonna hear this though, and Bit gets his kill.
Hunter gets his trade at least, and Electronic's right there to do the exact same thing. A double from Electronic. Finally an answer here from Nico, 2 kills. Doesn't have bomb just yet. Does have time to run and grab it. Problem is, now they hold the cross, and sure enough, he just can't get back into default.
Ooh, well done.
Electronic again.
Yes, man. He's got laser beams.
Here's this Bit versus Hooksy kill. That also very crisp, very clean. Quick trade from Electronic. Doesn't go too far out to expose himself to ramp.
How sick was that? Not only did not expose himself to ramp, he didn't expose himself to Nico and Palace.
Yep.
Got into the side of default, so that was beautiful. Sectioning out all the angles, all the different fights. Beautiful target selection. Great awareness.
And Navi have a lead.
And he's a father.
SDY. Top stairs peek. Nobody inside this A site. Ooh, this timing works out for G2. Oh, plus that should have been an opening kill, but Head Trick comes wide with the op kill. Monacy catches Electronic's head. Big scalp to take. SDY to half health. Nico dangerously close.
Good cover.
Monacy and Hooksy into the 2v3. But damn, did G2 ever pounce? Before Navi could commit anybody to inside that bomb site, Smokes made it kind of weird. Bomb nearing that halfway point. Hooksy's position confirmed. Perfecto and Hooksy locking horns over towards CT spawn. And it's only Monacy left. He gets the first in the 1v3. Catches Head Trick towards top stairs. Looking for the second kill. Looking to hang on, but it's not going to happen. And with it, Navi 2 match points.
That's one more on a long list of really hard retakes here that Navi have pulled off. Clutch kills. Coming out with low time to spare. Oh my goodness gracious. There are some very close situations with what seem like free kills that have not worked out that well here for G2. Last timeout called. I mean, with a plant, I gotta say, surely still a chance to buy. I'm not sure how good it's gonna be. But it's time to get focused. Let Navi get a little bit too comfortable. I think they're the ones who are going to come into this match with more self-doubt, right? Of course, missing such a big player from their team. But 2 rounds to go to get to overtime here for G2. It's entirely possible. What a map for Monacy. Damn. Looking for 30.
Not the first 10-5 half on Mirage that just wasn't enough so far in fall groups. Navi not even letting G2 get consecutive round wins in this second set of 15. A, the intended target yet again. First contacts electronics. Hooksy from bottom connector though. Very important trade. If you can get more than just that one though, that's the money kill. Oh, and Nico takes the dink and still rips SDY off that ticket booth. Hooksy looking for a more comfortable position, goes into the extension, and that is a clean headshot versus Bit to keep G2's hopes alive. Smoke top con, bomb down, nice and easy, 30-round game.
Oh, that changes the tie totally. Hooksy right there. It would have been 3v3.
Perfecto thinking about it.
It comes down to if they have the money to buy next round. They probably do. They even have the op as well, but of course they would risk it if they try to go for this. They won't die in the post plant. Man, it's 2v2 with half the time still left on the clock, but everybody's already receded into their apartments. And now, okay, G2 back in the game. Something that's also been noticeable is Hunter really aggressive lurks. Feels like he's got Vaseline on the bottom of his shoes. It looks like he's walking faster than everybody else. I don't know how he's getting into connector and all these timings, but that's worked out. And Hooksy takes his place this time.
Big round. This second kill on Bit, that was so clean.
Yeah.
But I mean this.
Yeah. The small crosshair abuser himself. That's massive. Ooh, this group is so close.
Yeah.
Everyone's so good for each other right now. And this exhausts everyone's timeouts. 4 use for both teams.
We go to overtime, it's gloves off. Coach is out. Bare knuckle brawl to the end.
I've always felt as though Blade has the highest win rate off of tack pauses of any coach in the game. You can see how much he's involved in these moments.
It's decent enough. Hooksy relegated to the MAC 10. Other than that, full-fledged G2.
Oh, man.
Back to B by the look of it.
They had a piercing B attack, 6-7 rounds ago. Perfecto's been sharp, however, in a position to see flashes, fall back in his position, not dropping any grenades.
Ooh, runs and runs all the way back. Headtrick comes in with the kill, but that MAC 10 from Hooksy, that's the entry for G2. A second op kill off of the catwalk.
Okay, they've got electric control. They can get out into the site. They're making sure to be careful that Navi don't try anything, but it looks like we're about to transition into a retake, and Navi have the advantage slightly.
That op disappears from Cat, doubles back around into the marketplace. We've got 3 players in market and a late electronic play off Cat. Headtrick doing everything so far for Navi. It was Hooksy with the ace to end the first half. Well, it may just need to be Headtrick or we go OT. Electronic starts to run up through the arch, tries to draw attention, does so successfully. They've just got to finish off Hooksy, who will not be able to stop them. It's a full house between Headtrick and Electronic to give Navi 16-14.
Wow.
And G2 finish 4th in Group B.
That was special. How many retakes was that?
One too many.
Oh, that's a tough one. Obviously, they could have won, right? This one was as close as ever. But that was some clutch out of Navi. That's well done. And shout out to Headtrick.
Little burst of energy there from Hooksy as well, trying to go for the hard B entry, but close is not good enough. We pass this one down to James Banks and Navi on the sideline.
Thank you very much, guys. I've got SDY with me here, and well, it was 10-5 down. It was very back and forth, an intense game. But that took a lot out of you guys.
Yeah, what can I say? All my homies hate Mirage, boy.
Hopefully not, it's a team game. You guys did the damage. Headtrick at the end there with the AWP as well, put in the work to save that B push coming through. But this was a back and forth between 2 teams that don't look too comfortable. Did it feel as uncomfortable as it looked?
Yeah, sometimes it feels really uncomfortable, especially for me, like on the A side. Like, it's everyone has own playstyle on this map already, and it can, as you said, it can go back and forth, and it's really hard to predict what other team will do. At least I feel it like that.
And in terms of the mental strength right now, how are you guys feeling? I saw Blade using a lot of timeouts. A lot of good stuff normally comes off the back of that, but also you're seeing not as much excitement even when you guys won that game.
Yeah, it was like release more than excitement, you know. And as you say as well, every timeout we have a game plan behind it. If we take timeouts, it's the reason why we take it. So.
And you've got a long set of games to go. You're now going to be facing off against Complexity again. Obviously, I know Blade was not very happy with how the first game went down. Do you feel like you guys are in a better position to get some revenge now?
Yeah, I think we need to get this revenge because otherwise we're going to losers or something.
Yeah, you go down to like the second bracket on the gauntlet.
Yeah. So we have to win the whole scene and we will do our best.
I'm sure you will. SDY, thank you very much. And good luck throughout the rest of the games. We'll have to see what happens next. It's a crazy...
As close could be, an absolute nail-biter between G2 and Navi. But Navi, they are the ones to slide this victory in their favour. I do want to go back to that final round because I think it kind of tells a very good story of that game. How on earth did Navi manage to close this one out finally?
I know G2 had many keys to close that door on Navi, but you have to give it to Navi. The fact that they were able to fight back in all of these rounds, the fact that they held their nerves much better than G2 in these very tight clutch situations. London said, I can make a video about so many of these rounds. Well, hell yeah, there were a lot of very tight rounds. That's a good example right here. It's a 3 versus 4 bomb. You can see on the side of Navi how disciplined this is, how they play together, how they wait for each other. Here there is a commit, but we see the trade is going to come as fast as possible. Hunter saves it. From that 2v2, Jacob, I thought G2 had done it. I thought it was overtime.
That was a proper game of Counter-Strike. A nail-biter that came down to the wire, to be completely honest. It was a back-and-forth affair, right? And you see the last player here as well for Navi surviving with very low HP. And it felt like that throughout the entire game, that all these clutch scenarios, all these 2v2s, 1v1s, 1v2s, it was the small, I wouldn't call them mistakes, you know, but lack of getting the kill, lack of finishing off the rounds that cost G2 this one and eventually, you know, makes them finish 4th in this group, which is to me a massive surprise. I know we came in, didn't really know what to expect from Hooks, didn't really know what to expect from JKS, but the fact they finished 4th in this group stage is not really the start we were hoping for.
Yeah, I think it is very fair to say that it was a surprise, and James used a word in that interview to SDY as well, kind of fairly on both sides of the equations, but uncomfortable, and it did kind of feel that way for both sides. I feel like you should be looking at this and going, it should have been closed out a little bit cleaner.
Well, I mean, definitely, you look at this game and you don't see two teams just going through the motions of the plan that they have prepared. This is not what was happening. We could see teams trying to spontaneously fix the mistakes. They were seeing the weaknesses they were spotting. And at that game, I think we have to give praises to Electronic. Yes. The man that we called out earlier in the tournament, we said Simple isn't here. He's going to have to do a little bit more, which he hadn't done up until that point. But you rewatch his city side and the impact that he had on A, how he was kind of filling the gaps. He was moving about. He was always in the right position. To me, he was the artist of that second half in the defense of Navi.
It was a beautiful display coming out of Navi. As you said, you know, showed a lot of cohesiveness in the game as well, stuck together and fought their way back into it. On the other hand, you look at G2 and already now, you know, we only watched them play a couple of times, but the T side seems to be a bit of an issue, especially here in Mirage. They fall flat. You spoke about it, right? Coming in, being Hooksy, a new in-game leader, having to navigate the team in English, not a native language for him. And then on Mirage, right? What if we went to a map like Nuke or Overpass, where it's even tougher to do? So the fact that already early signs showing weakness on the T side, I could be a little bit worried for G2. They may need more time than we initially would have thought. You know, a couple of weeks is not going to fix this. It's going to take a couple of months, I believe.
Yeah, obviously just a strugglesome period for G2 coming in with their debut with their new in-game leader, Hooksy. But let's get a few words from him, courtesy of Banks.
Hooksy, obviously you guys coming out in 4th place is not what you would have wanted, but you just faced a Navi that even without Simple Right can still show up and still have full strength. But what do you make of that game? Because you were up 10-5, you had a great first half. We were looking like you guys were going to close out quite convincingly.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that our CT side is better right now than the T side. I think it's way easier to adapt to the CT side, and yeah, obviously not what we were dreaming of when we thought about our start on our first event, but I think there's still a lot of things we can take away from this and a lot of things we can learn, so it's not wasted at all.
And that's what it's all about, right? Coming back stronger when you're looking at what you did here. But overall, you just played, what, 2 official games? There's only so much you can do when you're looking at this, right? What would you say was your biggest learning experience so far just from this G2 ride?
For me personally?
Yeah.
I think that throughout the bootcamp and this event especially, I think I learned a little bit of what path I should take. I think that it's obviously a big challenge to lead personalities and players like this. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but more than it's new for me, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I just in general learned a lot about actually being a leader, and I think we will show up and show a much better performance next time.
And that's what it's about, right? Get a bit more time. You know, we got the elimination stage. We're coming in next, so you still do get to play. And if anything, that means more games, right? So we'll take that as a positive. You know, more games, more practice. You come back stronger.
Oh, I love more games. give me more games, then we will learn more, and then we'll be better. So yeah, for sure. I'm still hopeful for the future.
That's what it's all about. Thank you very much, man. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, of course, it is important to reiterate that it isn't Heartbreak Hotel for G2 just yet. This isn't elimination. It just leaves them in a more, I guess, a difficult position going into next week's elimination gauntlet because they are in that last seeded place. So 1 loss and they are out of the competition.
Yeah, look, the road is not going to be easy, and hell is paved with good intentions, right? G2 tried their best here against Navi. I just wanted to quickly say, you could at first glance, think that the T sides from G2 against Liquid and Navi are the same. I don't think that's the case. I think it was extremely uninspired against Liquid. I think they just completely hit their head against the wall. Against Navi, it's more about finishing a couple of rounds.
Sure.
I think they were a bit more inspired. They were a bit more creative with the ideas they were bringing forth, and this is good for Huxi and G2 that they just didn't stall. But yes, they were missing that closer. They were missing that kill, that clutch that just pushes them over the edge.
We'll get to see them play Thursday next week.
Yes.
Thursday next week, and a lot can happen from now until Thursday next week. You know, you get a couple of practices in, you get a couple of learnings from this game as well. He's speaking about that. Of course, we want to play more games. Of course, this wasn't as great as we would have hoped for, but you can learn a lot from these losses, and hopefully already by Thursday, when we see them play again in a best-of-3 scenario, it'll look better for G2.
Yeah, and that's very important to know. It's going to be best of 3s going into next week as well. So we're guaranteed to see a little bit more than just Mirage coming into things as well for G2, which would be really, really cool. But I do want to get your thoughts on the other new member of this G2 squad. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Huxi because it's very important for an in-game leader to be coming into this squad and seeing, how stylistically he's going to be approaching things. But JKS as well was obviously under the microscope for G2.
I'll have to be a little bit careful here because I did say coming into this one that I feel people in general overhype JKS a little bit based on the stand-in performance he had with FaZe. Arguably the best stand-in performance I've ever seen anyone have.
Yeah.
But prior to that, he wasn't playing a lot of Counter-Strike. His last venture in Complexity, he didn't really look like the old JKS. So the fact that he was supposed to come in and hit the ground running for G2, I didn't really see that coming. And as you see by these stats as well, he was struggling massively today, couldn't get it done. I absolutely love what Nico said coming into the first game as well. We know JKS to be this known quantity. We can leave him alone, we can leave him on A side of Mirage, and he will get it done. Today, he didn't get it done. So we need to give JKS some more time, but this is early signs of a bit of weakness from him, and that was not the start he was hoping for.
Look, I agree. This isn't a good start for JKS. It's not a good light to start his career with G2. I do think that he's a player that will play better and better as the system around him makes more sense. Right now on the CT side, if you're G2, I'm sure that there are some situations where all the T's aren't crossed, the I's aren't dotted, and it's not exactly sure what he's supposed to do. I think as soon as he's got clarity about what the hell is going on, he'll make better decisions, he'll play better, because right now, that wasn't enough.
Yeah, he was particularly talking about, I believe, the T side in an earlier interview as well, saying, CT side is some similar positions for him going forward in some of the maps, but the T side, and that's kind of what we've seen on paper, just that strugglesome period for G2. Obviously, for Navi, we're going to be seeing them continuing on to play in our later matchup coming up very shortly. But I do want to talk about Complexity versus Liquid as well, because that was going down earlier on today. Liquid now in the final of this group. Complexity, they were so darn close to closing this one out on Vertigo, though.
Oh, they made Liquid sweat for it.
Yeah.
They made Liquid fight for it. You start that game, it's a 6-0 lead for Complexity. And at that time, I have to admit, I think Liquid were being a little bit complacent, maybe a little bit too much bravery and courage based off their first victory. They allowed Complexity to come back in a few of these rounds. Then you have a great comeback from Liquid, again, powered by Yekin there on that CT side. But the end of it, I mean, it has to be a heartbreak. Complexity had the keys to heaven. They had all they needed to be in that top 2 minimum in the group.
Complexity may have lost this game to Team Liquid, but they're starting to reassure my belief in this project. That's 2 good games in a row now for Complexity. I think it's safe to say they should have won this game against Team Liquid. They blew it. We're going to see a couple of clips later on where we see what the big problem for Complexity were. But despite this loss against Team Liquid, they now played 2 good games in a row against 2 quality oppositions, something we haven't seen from Complexity in a long, long time. So this whole, reiteration of bringing in Hardcirk and bringing in maybe a little bit more of that European flair, giving the guys some more time as well together, it looks to be paying off for Complexity.
Yeah, let's talk about that kind of turning point, I guess, for Liquid coming into the later stages of that game, because these were some rounds we feel like, Complexity should have been closing out on this eco play.
Yeah, we call them eco play, must call them heartbreak play. Really, that's what happened for Complexity. 2 clutches back-to-back, where I personally think that this is where Complexity lost the game completely. 14-11, of course, is the first one of them. It's a 4 versus 2 that starts beautifully for Complexity. They have all the keys where they need to, and unfortunately, they're gonna just a little bit overplay the situation, overstay their welcome. You can already see here the difference had been made. It's a 4v2. The scoreline is 14-10. It should be over. A little bit of curiosity out of Floppy. I think it killed the cat and it killed Floppy as well. He could have played it safe. Repeak coming in from Ozek at the AWP, and then suddenly a round that was promised to Complexity turn on its head, and the experience from Liquid shines through. Once they get to that 2v2, you're not going to get it away from Yakindar and Nafly. That was the occasion for Complexity to score. And now, worst case, after that, round 27 is going to be a 1 versus 3 for Naf. Nasty ass Naf again. He plays it great. I can't really fault Complexity too much here. I think that commit probably is an issue. I don't know why he's diffusing instantly in the smoke. The timer was quite favorable. He could have waited a little bit, but these two clutches, you put them back to back. This is the difference between a W and an L.
Yeah, they should have won the game. Let's be completely honest. Complexity should never have lost these 2 rounds. The first one, fair enough, you know, that was well done by the Liquid players. The second one, Nafly, you say you don't want to be too hard on him. Of course, when you win a 1v3 like Naf is doing right here, that's just exceptional. But the positioning coming in from Complexity were horrible. As you said, hitting the bomb, sitting on the bomb from the get-go, even though there was a lot from the timer left as well, horrible. You got to figure out where he is, and then you played a 1 against 3, and you are bound to win that round no matter what. Complexity got to feel hard done by. They didn't get the win right here, but again, overall, it was a great experience for Complexity. The problem for them is they didn't win the game.
Yeah, no, there's kind of, I guess, heartbreaking now. They're going to be having that rematch versus Navi coming up very shortly. But for Liquid, that does leave them in the grand final of this group. I think this is a really good position for them, particularly, you know, coming into Cologne. We thought, you know, is this maybe a honeymoon period with Yakinda making it pretty deep into that playoffs and the grand stage as well? But I don't know. I'm really happy with what we've seen of Liquid so far.
Yeah, I think we kind of lost sight that amidst the chaos of this group and all the roster changes, they're actually the ones with the most, I guess, veterancy in the roster, if I can put it this way. Of course, Simple not being here with Navi changes, kind of shuffles the card for the CIS team, but you have G2 with massive roster changes. You have Complexity just bringing in Halzerk. That leaves Liquid and Yakindar. They already know what the hell they're doing. They've been together for Cologne, so they're using that to their advantage.
The thing for Liquid so far in this tournament is that all the win conditions are working for them right now. Yakinda's had a great game. Elise has had a great tournament so far, and we saw Nasty as Nef going crazy right here as well. That is your 3 main characters within that team. Then you have OC as a 4th, you know, supportive AWP star, if you can phrase it like that. You look at the lineup right here and you think to yourself, if those 4 pieces can work well together, there's an awful lot of firepower within Team Liquid. Nitro, we haven't even mentioned his name throughout this tournament so far, and that's a good sign for Team Liquid because the rest of the guys right now is overshining him. So positive early signs from Team Liquid coming out of the break. I can't wait to see more of them.
Yeah, of course, if all those cards are falling in line at the same time, it's going to be really deadly for any team going up against them. I'm also loving the fact that now we're back in this studio. The teams can see each other as well. We've seen these the glass like going frosted and unfrosted between the rounds as well. But man, I love the trash talk that Yakinda's giving his opponents.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of Counter-Strike, right?
Great.
And this is also a part that a character like Yakinda is bringing to the table. Some of these intangibles that we're talking about. When we say Jax is a funny guy, he brings a lot of energy. It's also great to have someone with you that's going to banter the hell out of your opponent, have some fun, maybe alleviate a little bit of pressure, shout around. I mean, I did play with Apex for a while. Man,
if you like it now, wait till we get to the elimination matches. Wait till we get to the best of 3s where something is actually at stake. Wait till we get to the games where you either qualify or you're out of the tournament as well. That's when we get to see the emotions.
Yeah, we will be seeing more of Liquid later on today in our final game of the day, but we must find them an opponent first, and it is going to be a rematch on the cards between Complexity and Navi. Complexity taking the W earlier on in the day on that map of Overpass. We're going to see if they can do it again, perhaps on a different map though. It's coming up after this.